Hey crafty people! Welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! Welcome to my channel, and I'm interrupting our regularly scheduled broadcast of working on the butterfly journals to bring you a couple of masculine cards, because I need to make a Father's Day and birthday card for my dad. If you've been with me for a while, you know my dad's birthday lines up pretty closely with Father's Day, and I know this video is airing after Father's Day, and it'll air after my dad's birthday, but I'm filming it between Father's Day and his birthday. And I figure if I post it afterwards, there's no chance of him accidentally seeing his card beforehand if he goes on and watches any of my YouTube. Not that I don't think he actually watches my YouTube channel, but that's all right. And I figured I'd share it with you because I had one of those, ooh, this idea will be cool moments. So hopefully you'll find something useful from this video. And I did get a little bit of inspiration from the Crafty Corner with Jana Ketchum. She was playing around with the new Tim Holtz Sizzix embossing folders, like the bigger versions of previously released patterns. And so I'm gonna take a little bit of inspiration for one of the ones she did, and she used distressed mica spray stains, burning ember, and Wonderland, and then she also used the distressed spray stain in brushed pewter, which I don't have, but I do have some of the gray mica stains, and I also pulled in a couple extra blues, because why use 2 or 3 colors when you can use 7? And this idea I got from Tiffany Solera, to lift it up so that we can hopefully dry it easier and faster. So I'm first gonna wet my paper. And I have already given the sprays a pretty good shake, but I will shake them again as I go to use them because they'll probably been settling out while I've been yammering. Let's move these out of the way so I don't actually spray onto them. Okay, so, and actually before we do that, I'm gonna flip it, spray the back, because that'll help flatten it out so it's a little less rounded. And we'll start with a little Wonderland. And let me grab a cloth and wipe off the nozzles as we go so they don't clog on me. And then we're gonna do the burning ember. And then let's see, I've also grabbed, for our grays, Phantom Mist. So we'll do a little bit of Phantom Mist in there, which is kind of a blue-gray. And then some Iron Gate, which is a darker gray. Do a couple drops of that. And Frozen Fog, which is a lighter, more silvery color. And then I did grab a couple more of the blues because I thought they'd be kind of cool. I've grabbed Frosted Juniper and Winter Frost, which are a darker blue. So just add a little bit of that. And this is the Frosted Juniper. And I think I'm going to come back in because we seem to have lost most of our Wonderland, and add a little bit more of that in, and then spray it with some water to get some movement, and then we'll dry it. And in the interim, I'll also go and let a dog in because he's barking like a loony. Dang nabbit, I went to let the dogs in and thought I had pressed record again on my phone and apparently didn't. So it got a little muddy, so I grabbed in another piece to kind of blot off some of the puddling and pooling inks. I went back in and added a little bit more of the Wonderland and a little bit more of the burning Ember, kind of give it splatters, and dried it off. So it's ready to go now. And I really like the sparkle and shine. This definitely got a little muddy. I probably shouldn't have added quite so many colors, but you know, it was fun experimenting, and I've got another cool piece. So the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is one of the dies from the Tim Holtz Sizzix set called Gentleman, and the number, in case you're interested, is 666286, and I'm going to die cut him out. Then I am going to put the piece I die cut back into this piece of paper and run the whole thing through my embossing folder. So it's one of the new large ones. It's, I forget what it's called. It's the one that looks like, it's supposed to look like pieces of metal riveted together. And riveted might be its name, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll let you know when I'm done. I'll come back and tell you. I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna clean up this mess with some other papers, because why waste all that lovely inks? So yeah, I'll be back. Okay, I decided before I went and embossed, I'd show you exactly what I meant by sticking the die cut back in. So here's our gentleman. Here's the piece we cut him out of. I'm gonna stick him in to that hole. And then this is the embossing folder. It is Foundry Large, and it's 666887, and it's part of the new A5 collection of embossing folders. So I'm gonna, just trying to decide, I want it to go this way. And I'm gonna put the whole thing back in like so, with him stuck inside, and emboss it like this. So I'm gonna go do that now, and then I'll be back. So here is our piece now that it's been embossed. So we'll pop our gentleman back out. And the reason why you want to die cut first and then emboss is because when you run it through your machine for the die cutting, you'll press out your embossed image. So yeah, and I ran it through and then back, and it shifted a little, so it's not the cleanest of impressions. And I also think I need to maybe have put a shim. This is the first time I'm embossing with this folder, and B, my new machine. So yeah, it's a work in progress. And now I'm gonna come in with a distress crayon and grunge this up a little bit more. So we're gonna just add a little crayon to bring out, you know, the texture we got going on with using the embossing folder. So I'm just gonna do that. And I don't know why I seem to have the hardest time getting my crayon to like rub out. So I'm gonna put a little water off to the side and get my finger a little damp so that I can get a little bit more movement with the crayon. A little bit more grunginess. Let's do a little bit over here. A little bit on our gentleman. All right. And in case I didn't say at the beginning, which I don't think I did, I'm using a Canson XL watercolor paper because I was very wet in my application of the inks. I did not want to use regular cardstock. Okay, so let me grab the rest of the stuff I need so that we can finish these cards. Okay, so I have pulled out Curiosity Shop CMS 482. I've grabbed the typewriter, and let's move this stuff out of the way, and I will go over everything there in a minute. Let's go ahead, and I've got a scrap piece of cardstock. I'm gonna stamp the typewriter on there. I am gonna use, let's see, I think I'm gonna go, I'm trying to decide scorched timber oxide or ink, which I want to use. Let's see what scorched timber oxide looks like. If we like that, because that's the beauty of the Misty, is I can always restamp it with the ink if I think it needs to be darker. Actually, I think I want it darker. Yeah, I like that. I think that works. Maybe just do it one more time just to make sure. I'm gonna grab the piece of paper that will fit coming out of the typewriter. I'm gonna stamp that. I'll just use the scorched timber ink for that. Actually, no, as I am thinking about this, I'm gonna grab Fallen Leaves because I want to be able to ink and grunge up paper after we stamp it, so it needs to be a waterproof ink. And VersaFine Clair is waterproof once it is dry. All right, so we've got that. Right now I'm trying to decide if I want to do the happy birthday in brown or blue. Kind of want to do it in blue. Kind of want it to be straight if at all possible. She says, and then laughs because she can't do things straight. Just doing a color test. That, or that was Stays On Teal Blue. I've got the Archival Ink in Salvage Patina. I think I kind of want Salvage Patina. And then there's one more thing I'm gonna stamp. Happy Father's Day, which I'll use on one of the two card, on the other card. So we're just gonna try and line this up straight-ish. We'll use the lines, the grid on here to get it straight. We'll come over and scoot it down so that it's actually on the lines. I think we're gonna go Salvage Patina with this too. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is first we're gonna cut off the Father's Day part. I thought I was evening it out and not quite, but close enough. All right. So now I'm going to take this over to my die cutting machine because Simon Says Stamp has created coordinating dies for some of the Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous stamp sets. And I'm pretty sure I bought this one because it creates a slit in the top of the typewriter for sticking the piece of paper in. So I am going to go do that. All right, and there we go. What I want to do now is grab my antique linen, distress ink, and ink everybody with that. Okay, so those got a base. You know what? I think that one needs a little bit more. I think we're gonna go a touch darker and grab tea dye. Please ignore my dog who's barking because, well, that's what he does. I think I need to do the top of this so that when we put it in, because there's a little slit right there. So you stick it in like that and it looks like it's being typed on the typewriter. I like that. All right, let's see, what do we need? We need a block, some, I think, scorched timber oxide. I'll put a little on the block. We're gonna spritz that with a little bit of water. Don't want it quite as much as that, so a little bit more than I was going for. Because that's gonna go on our grungy background. Got that. I like that. I may come in with some blues. I need to do some to this, I think, as well. Can do a that got a little too splattery. It's kind of hard to read, but we're gonna go with it. All right, I need to grab card bases. All right, so let's fold our card base in half. Grab the bone folder and do that. And for our typewriter, what I really like is the look of that section through our gentleman. So what I am gonna do is, that is about 2 inches wide. I'm just gonna cut a 2-inch strip off and then cut it down to size. And this is from one of the Tim Holtz backdrop sets. Give me a sec and I can tell you which one. That is, what is this one? Halloween 2024 backdrops. Didn't think it was a Halloween one. I thought it was a regular one, but I guess I was mistaken. I think I am gonna grab a dauber, scorched timber, and do the inside edges of this because it's white. Now, what we are gonna do is glue this behind our gentleman. I'm gonna grab my art glitter glue. You, of course, can use whatever glue you prefer. You're just gonna want something with a fine tip for getting, you know, our detailed spots here. I really like how that looks. That's gonna go on here, and then we're gonna add the typewriter right there. It's gonna go a little over his foot just to get it onto the thing, but I like that. I'm trying to decide if I want to glue it flat or pop it up. Let's glue this to the card base. let me glue that into place. I'm just gonna run a little glue on the back of the typewriter. And adjust that as I like it, like that. I cannot decide. But let's grab thin foam squares and see how it looks like sitting off the thing. I think I'm gonna go foam squares. And yes, I tend to put a ton on when I do them because I want it on nice and secure. I'm also gonna grab a blade and cut this one so that I can put it on the handle there. That works. And I am actually, once I pull the backings off, gonna add a little glue just to reinforce the adhesive on these guys. I'm gonna put like a dot of glue in the center of each one. And I really like how that came out. I like the shine and the shimmer of the mica sprays. And yeah, that looks cool. All right, so that one's done. Let's bring over this card base and do this. And for this, I want to use one of the neutral collage backgrounds I did recently. I was thinking of this one because this is the only brown one I have that is a card shape and does not have flowers on it. And putting him there. But now I'm wondering, do I like it against the gray? Actually, I kind of do. Kind of like him against the gray. Maybe we'll go with this one. He definitely needs inking around the edges to help him pop. And what I was thinking is I'd stick the Happy Father's Day down here. That needs more inking. And have him like standing on it. Trying to decide what I like. This definitely needs more ink. And he needs inking around his edges. So let's do that. Also bring in the grays since that's what we use for the background. So let's grab, I feel like this one got iced spruce on it. So let's grab our iced spruce and put that on a block. I feel like that's still gonna be way too much on there. Let's grab a splatter brush. Get this stuff out of the way. As I'm doing this, the Happy Father's Day is fading further and further. I'm sitting there going, I should have embossed it, I think. And I'm just trying to decide if I want to redo this whole little strip and do it either in a darker color or emboss it, or just go with it. Part of me is like, let's just go with it. All right, I'm gonna glue this down so that we can more easily see how we like things, because it's curving up a little bit. Now when I add a front to a card base, I always start at my fold line when I do it, because this way, if it doesn't line up exactly right, which has happened on more than one occasion, I can more easily correct it by just trimming off any excess if the card base underneath is like sticking out. Whereas if you do it, line it up this way and it comes up short, you can't cut it, because then you're gonna cut your fold. So that's just a little tip. I want to round those corners, which means I'm gonna come back in with the ink again. Like that better. Let's not lose the pin for our glue. Can't decide. I think I like him better like there. Okay, what I am gonna do is I'm gonna grab the stamps again. I am gonna grab my Misty. First find Clear Morning Mist. Bring our piece back over. Add ink. Oh, no, round corners. Like getting teeny tiny spots everywhere but where I want them. Again, I'm gonna add a little bit more ink, a little bit more water. That's a bit better. And I think I'm actually gonna also add a few splots of Salvage Patina. I'm not worried that the brush isn't clean. Okay, now what we're gonna do is glue this over that. Probably to there. He's gonna go on like so. Let's glue his feet on, because then we'll know where to trim off. Let's glue this whole thing down. trim off that excess. And come in and ink that edge. And I think I need to glue that top piece down. Yes. Add a little glue under there. And there we go. We've got 2 cards. I had 2 cards. Where did the other card go? Good grief. I need to clean up the mess I have made in my craft space. Because, yeah, I can't find... Where did I put it? There it is, right in front of my face. Boy. So we used an embossing folder and a die to create 2 cards that are companions of each other. So that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting.